Hi everyone! So the other day we got the Diablo 4 Season 2 preview in the developer livestream, detailing most of the changes that are coming to the game on October 17 when the next season starts. I've already made a summary video, so you can go check that out. There's also the links to the news here in the description as well. So if you want to read through it all, then I recommend you to do that. This video specifically, I want to talk about hardcore, because there is actually some interesting stuff here. So first of all, there was some confusion and some misunderstanding that they put into the patch notes about hardcore Renown. So that has been cleared up since then. So in case you're not sure and you haven't seen that yet, they wrote something that all of the Renown is going to carry over. If you have done it before, you will have it in Season 2. So if you have unlocked all the Paragon points in all of the regions, for example, you don't have to do Renown again. You just have to log in, play a new character, and you will have everything unlocked. No need to grind anything again. But there was some text here that suggested that this was not the case for hardcore characters, and this has now been fixed. So it actually says that it does apply to hardcore characters, and it's kind of similar. If you have done hardcore Renown at some point in the past, you will also have it. The only exception is that if you did that pre-season, before Season 1, and your character has died and you have not logged in with that character since then that will not be the case. So if you have done it during Season 1, so if you have played the season, then you are totally fine. There's also no logging in required or something like that. It's just that this pre-season stuff is like ancient history, and they didn't actually preserve those records from dead characters. So this is the important thing to know. Everything else is fine. But softcore and hardcore Renown is separate, and you have to do it once per game mode. Now, with that out of the way, there's also an update to the Scrolls of Escape here. So very long ago, years ago, they told us about Scroll of Escape being an item that they can use to teleport to safety. So if you have played hardcore, you will know that. And it also is supposed to protect you from disconnects. And that change is actually finally coming to the game in Season 2. So you no longer die from disconnects. At least that's the idea. We have not seen this in action yet, but they talked about it. And well, I expect that whenever you DC, when your connection cuts out, this is it. It will just automatically consume it. And as long as you have one of those lying around, you will be fine. However, we don't know exactly what is the exact delay. So it might still be possible that you DC, but your character stays for another 2 seconds until the game actually realizes that you DC'd. So we'll see exactly. Or it could also just happen that your character cannot use it while it's trying to use the Scroll of Escape. So maybe you get frozen, and while CC'd, Scroll of Escape doesn't work. We'll see. But it definitely sounds like a massive upgrade because, well, at least I know that, especially on the higher end, a lot of people actually tend to die to disconnects, lag spikes, and all that stuff. And let's see how much this will actually change the hardcore experience. I've also had this happen multiple times to me. I lost characters to DCs. Or the power out or something like that. So here's my latest rip actually, when I was trying Lilith with Sever, and I just DC'd here basically. My internet just cut out for a second, and that was it. And similar also in the Season 1 race to level 100, I was actually DCing at level 93 at the number 1 spot. And that was it basically. So that stuff probably won't happen again. So that is really nice, and I'm really looking forward to having the disconnect protection in the game. And maybe it's even gonna protect you from massive lag spikes. So I'm not sure exactly when the game drops you versus when do you just lag and you come back 10 seconds later. That might still be an issue, but maybe they will be iterating on this. And that also brings me to a bit of a discussion topic that I wanted to bring up here, which is the Elixir of Death Evasion. So if you have played all of hardcore, you will notice this is a cheat death potion that you can use. So it is this item here. If you have played hardcore, you will have seen this. You get a recipe. It is extremely cheap to craft this death evasion elixir, so you can basically have this permanently all the time, and it prevents you from dying. It has a 5-minute cooldown, so when it triggers once, you get immune for 2 seconds. And this gives you enough time to either heal up and defeat whatever you're fighting, or just Scroll of Escape out. So you can basically never die unless you do a major mistake, or you get crowd controlled and you cannot actually scroll out, or you DC. So DCs are gone now, and the game is getting easier and easier with every patch, I would have to say. So they have massively nerfed monster power, they have massively buffed player power. And for example, with the Season 2 update coming with the new seasonal powers, it seems like we're kind of going in like a, stronger direction of power creep as the seasons pass. And in general, I just feel like Diablo 4 is actually a very fair game when it comes to hardcore. So the most dangerous attacks are telegraphed, you have evade, you can dodge around, etc. It's not like you just randomly die from something that you couldn't predict, from like a dead corpse or something like that. And there are also nerfing, for example, Death Pulse and Lightning Storm, Nightmare Dungeon affixes, and these kind of things. Which leads me to believe that I think the Elixir of Death Evasion is just unnecessary these days. And I would like to hear from you guys, what do you think about that? If you have played hardcore, do you really like the Death Evasion Elixir? Personally, I am actually very strongly against it, and I just think it has no place in this game. As an avid hardcore enjoyer, I'm actually very sad that this thing exists, because it kind of takes out the real thrill of playing hardcore. But on the other hand, it would also be stupid not to use it, because, well, everyone else is using it, and this is the way that hardcore is played, basically. So it just gives me like a competitive disadvantage of not running it, especially when it comes to like the race on season start, or when it comes to the leaderboards that we'll have soon in season 3. So obviously people are going to use the Elixir if they can. And I just think the game would be much more enjoyable on hardcore if it wasn't a thing. The Scroll of Escape, on the other hand, I think that's a really cool item. I think it's nice that you have like this tool to kind of get out of a sticky situation, but you can only do it so often. So you have to actually grind for it. And I could even see them like reducing the drop rate a bit. I think scrolls definitely drop too much as well. But it's not like Elixir of Death Evasion that's just like forgives you any major mistake that you make, basically, and then it's just like softcore with extra steps, and you have to wait 5 minutes in town, and that's it. So those are my 2 cents, at least, on that topic, and I would be curious to hear from you, especially if you play hardcore a lot. What do you think about that? Because, yeah, I'm just not a fan of cheat deaths. Maybe there could also be some other solutions, like, for example, changing how the elixir works. So, for example, it could have a much higher cost or much lower duration, or it could have like a cooldown, or it could just work only on like uber boss encounters where you have these one-shot mechanics. Something like that I think would be fair, but the way it works right now is just that you're basically never really in danger, and I don't really like that too much. So I'm trying to make it a bit more enjoyable for myself by not running it, but this is obviously, in the future, not really a thing anymore when we have, competitive leaderboards and all that stuff. So let's see. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this video here. Nothing to worry about for hardcore. It's only getting better with the Renown carrying over after all, and with the Scroll of Escape protecting you from disconnects. So that will definitely make a lot of people that play hardcore happy, I imagine. And that's it for this video. Hope you're also looking forward to Season 2. I have a lot more stuff to come, so stay tuned for more updates, and I'll see you guys next time.